Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So this week we will continue with lesson 4, creating chart. So let's say we have all of this data. So we have a student data for marks and age, and then we have we want to define either the student will be pass or fail, and then we want to check either the status is above average or below average. So based on this data, so we have 12 students and their gender and age and marks. So first step, we have to define the average mark. Okay. So for average mark, we will using the formula that we have discussed in the previous lesson. So as usual, we start the formula with the symbol equal, and then we are using sum. Okay, so we want to count the total mark for all students. So we drag this from E2 until E13. Okay, so this one we will count the sum or the total of all 12 students, and then we divide 2. We want to know how many students that we have. So please refer to the previous lesson. We have using count A. Okay, so to count for text. Okay, so we will drag from the first student until the last student. Then we close the bracket and then you enter. Then we have the average for average mark for these all students. Okay, and then to define either the student will pass or fail, we define the pass grade is 60. Okay, and now we want to define, so I have to delete all these question mark. Okay, so now we using equal to if function, using if function. Okay, so then we want to determine either the student will be pass or fail. So we will define if these marks, okay, so greater than the passing mark 60. Okay, and then we using comma. Okay, comma, and then you use this function. If the mark is greater than 60, then the student will be pass. So otherwise, the student will fail. Okay, and then you close the bracket. Okay, so this one refer to the mark, cell mark. So this one refer to the passing mark. Okay, and then we enter. So now, if this student is the mark is 45, which is less than 60, then the student will be fail. Okay, then you just drag this function. Okay, so let me check. So for these examples, okay, supposedly these marks should be fail, but in this formula it stated pass. So what is the problem is, so let's say we see this one. So the C9, the passing rate is not in this field. Okay, so to be tested, it should be referred to this cell. Okay, cell C16. So we have to using this function, to make sure that this cell will not be removed or to be another cell. Okay, so we have to lock this cell by using $sign. So you put $ before C, and then you put $ before 16. Okay, so you must state this function in this cell in G2. Okay, and then we enter. Okay, so now the formula is if E2 greater than, so we are using this $cell, okay, to another cell. Okay, then we enter. Now from this formula we just drag it, so we check. So this one, yeah, previously we have 26 is passed. When we use, okay, we will check what will happen to this cell. Okay, what will happen to the result. Okay, so we just drag. Okay, so now we get the right answer. Okay, so don't forget to use this $, yeah, to lock this cell. Okay, because it will use the same passing mark, yeah, to test for all students. Okay, we check this one, so it's still referred to this cell. If we check for this formula, it's also referred to this function. Okay, so for this cell, don't use the $ because it will it's not a static cell. Okay, we cannot lock this cell, just leave it as E2. Okay, and then we check this one, it will continue with E3, so until E11, okay, until E13. Okay, it depends on which cell you are using or which cell you put your data. Okay, so you can use the same formula, yeah, to define the status either above average or below average. Okay, so for this one, yeah, you have to use, okay, if, yeah, if marks, okay, if we are using status based on the average. Okay, so if mark is greater than average mark, okay, the cell, okay, and then if it greater than 65.25, it will be above average. Okay, so otherwise it will be below average. Okay, so I'm showing you how to use this function. So equal to, so if, okay, sorry, so if, okay, so marks, okay, so greater than average, okay, and comma, then we will be above average. Okay, so otherwise it will be below average. Okay, so enter. Sorry, so we are missing the A. So if A, so I will check the formula. If A marks is greater than say 15, then it will be above average, otherwise will be below average. Okay, okay, so the rest we will do on your own. Okay, so next we go to how we want to count this statistic. We have gender, age, grade, and status. Okay, so you have to find the numbers for male and female. Okay, so this is easy one, yeah. Not too difficult to use this function. So we are using equal to. Okay, so now we have to use count if. Count if. Okay, count if. So this one, count if. Okay, So we go to gender, male or female. So we drag this one. Okay, so then comma. Okay, then we put as male M. Okay, so it depends on this data that you have in this cell. Okay, so we put M. Okay, close bracket, then enter. Then it will count how many male among the student. Yeah? And then repeat the same formula. So equal to using count if. Okay, count if. And then for this range of data, okay, so comma. So this time we want to count the female student. Then we put F. To represent the female student. Then enter. So now we have the count for how many male and how many female students in this class. Okay, so using the same formula, count if, then you have to determine the age. Either age, how many students age above 30 and how many age below than 30. So I leave it to you to count this age for this statistic for each student. Okay, and then I'm showing you the function for grade. Okay, we want to count how many students pass and how many students fail. Okay, so we have to delete the question mark. So equal to, we are using count if. Okay, so count if. Okay, so this time we are using this column fail and pass. Fail from G2 until G13, then comma, then we just put as. So this one we want to count for pass. Okay, then close bracket, enter. Okay, so now we have counted for how many students are passed. Okay, using the same formula, we will count for fail. How many students are fail? So equal to, okay, count if. Okay, so count if, still we are using this cell, G2 until G13. So comma, so this one we will count for fail. Okay, close again and enter. So now we have 4 students fail, 8 students pass. So you want to check, so 1, 2, 3, 4 students fail, so the rest will be pass. Okay, so using the same formula, using this only, but this time we want to count the status. Status above, how many students get above average, then how many students got marks below average. But before you count the status, how many above, how many below average, so you have to define the stat student. Okay, so this count I will leave it to you, and you will find for age and for status. Okay, so that's all. We will continue with next lesson using creating chart.